I want to talk to you about the differences of different guitar picks, pluses and minuses. There's lots of different brands and materials, and I get a lot of questions. Does it make a difference? What type should I use? I'm having problems with picks sliding out of my hand. That's a common one. I get a lot of beginners asking that. What can I do? So we're going to try to address this.
What about dog-eating picks? What do you feel about
Dog-eating picks are a problem, especially for me, because my golden retriever Samantha loves to eat pick.
No!
What's that?
No,
Give me that!
No,
Get over here! Samantha! Come here. Give me that. You can't have that. No. Give me that. I got it. You can't have that, you silly girl. You get the premium dog food and you'd rather have the cheap guitar picks. Go figure. So picks are made from all different types of materials. There's nylon, celluloid, metal, wood, plastics, all different types of materials, and they all have a different feel, and they all have a different sound. And that's one of the main things. And the other thing is they're all made of different thicknesses. You can get thin, ultra thin, medium, thick, heavy. You can get them in different thousandths. Like some picks, actually, if you look on the back, it'll tell you the actual thousandths, 0.73 millimeter, or 0.10, really thick, 0.2. I mean, you can get 0.58. I mean, whatever. You could find picks, 0.60. You can find them all different thicknesses. And a lot of it comes down to one of the main things I want you to pull out of this is that, in my opinion, all of them will give you a different sound. Whatever you're touching your guitar strings with, between you and the guitar and then the guitar and the amp, is going to affect the tone. Just use your fingers to play has a very different sound than using a pick.
You know, it's a softer.
It's a very softer kind of muted sound because your strings are deadening the sound a little bit. Just like I find that the thicker the pick, the more it kind of deadens the string a little bit. And you might want that. You know what I mean? So a lot of it is personal preference. But know there is a difference, that the pick actually will give you a different sound, the different picks. So while you're trying them, you want to try to find one that feels really good, but you also want to try to find it balanced with what sound is good. What sounds good. The thinner the pick sometimes gives you a little bit more of a sharper sound, kind of a little bit more trebly kind of sound in my experiences. A couple things that I want to start off with is I get a lot of questions that students, especially when they're first starting, they have trouble with the pick moving in their hand, or it'll just fly out when they hit the strings, or it'll slide around. And I want to give you a couple of suggestions on something you could do to attack that. The first one is they actually make picks with holes in them. Okay, for instance, this pick here, which is made by a company called Star Picks, S-T-A-R, and I'm going to zoom in on this in a minute, but it actually has a hole in it. So what happens is when you grip it, a little fleshy part of your finger fits in that hole, and it makes it less easy to move around. It's pretty good. By the way, just so you know, like with all our stuff, both Tim and I, we have no endorsement deals with any companies or anything like that. So anything that we show you is just our experience. We're not getting paid and whatnot. This is just my feelings, my experiences, and what I think works for helping out and teaching thousands of students.
Knowledge garnered from the streets.
Exactly, from the streets, baby. So let me zoom in on this pick and show you what this one looks like. So you can see on an up close and personal shot, this Star pick has that hole right in it, and it really helps with the grip. Okay, the other picks that really help if you're having a problem with picks moving are these nylon picks. These are made by Dunlop, Jim Dunlop, and these are various thicknesses. But the good thing about these picks is they have raised letters, and you could see if I angle them, and the raised letters kind of act like grippies, and it makes it very easy to grip the pick. Now, this one, for instance, is a 0.88 millimeters, so it's about a medium, or maybe a shade under medium. I also have one that's a 0.73 and a 0.60. So if you're having problems with your pick coming loose in your hand, try one of these with the hole or the raised letters. And these are nylon, which feel different than celluloid, but they do kind of stick to your hands. Another pick that Dunlop makes is this guy. This is a .96, but this has a special coating on it. And you can buy these at most music stores. And this coating feels a little bit like it stays in your hand. It's not silky smooth. But what it does is it helps, again, so the pick won't move. These are purple, and this is a .96 millimeter, so it's a little bit probably toward the thicker side, but they make picks with special coatings on them so they don't slip in your hand. Another type of pick they make, and again I just have a handful of various ones, is they make these picks with indentations in them. There's a good shot of that. This one's purple, and it actually has, like where your thumb and first finger go, it's indented in. You could see it as a little circle, but that's actually a dent right into the plastic. And this is a big stubby pick, S-T-U-B-B-Y. Also, I believe this is made by Dunlop also. This one's 2.0 millimeters. This is a very thick pick, but it has that indent in it, and your fingers fit in it really well, okay? It's a thick pick, so you got to like the thick picks. Personally, I don't like thick picks, but they also make with the stubby.
Thick picks.
Yeah, thick picks. They also make a 1 millimeter stubby, but it's a smaller pick.
I never seen it.
Yeah, they make picks in all shapes and sizes. This is almost like a jazz pick. I'll show you some other jazz picks. But again, it has a little bit more of an indent in it. Now, two very popular picks today on the scene are the Jazz 2 picks, J-A-Z-Z numeral 2. And these are very popular with a lot of players today. Just ask anybody about the Jazz 2 picks made by Dunlop in the USA and ask them, did they use the red or the black? That's how these picks are known, by the red or the black Dunlop Jazz picks. A lot of players really like the way they feel. Now, these are smaller than like your standard, like here's a standard Fender pick, okay, medium. And as you can see, these Jazz picks are smaller, all right?
It says Jazz. Is it Jazz weight or just that's?
Well, a lot of times the Jazz guys use smaller picks, and some really small, like this small. Like a lot of the Jazz guys, like
rock guys using that.
Oh yeah, a lot of rock guys use them. The Dunlops, especially the reds and blacks, they're very popular. That's like a Jazz shaped pick right there. So you might want to try, if you're trying different picks, these are extremely popular with big name players. Try these Jazz, the Dunlop, the black and the red. See which ones you like.
Well, I'm just curious from a novice, why? I mean, why do you think they're popular with these?
Well, a lot of people just like the way they cut through the strings. A lot of people like the feel of the smaller pick and the hardness of them, and they just like the feel, and they just get real popular for a while. That's a really popular pick. Personally, I like the old celluloid picks. My favorite pick is the good old Fender Medium.
Yeah, I like those too.
Yeah, Fender Medium, it just feels good in my hand. I like the way it sounds. I like the way these picks sounds. They don't sound like the strings are being deadened, like with a real thick pick, and I don't like picks that are too thin with too much give in them.
That's the tortoiseshell, right?
That's the tortoiseshell. That's my favorite. My favorite is Fender Medium tortoiseshell. But these are celluloid, and a lot of people don't like these, especially beginners, because they can feel slippery, and the pick moves in their hand. One of my students, what he did is he took an ice pick and he punched holes in it, and that helped. Another one of my students wrapped masking tape around. That helped. So that's another thing that you can do. But the Fender Medium, and these are celluloid. Fender makes picks in thin, medium, heavy, celluloid, all different colors, and you want to check them out. And you're going to have to, with picks, especially the thinner the pick, the faster they wear out. The tip starts to wear out and get shaved down, and you're going to have to replace them. So don't be chintzy when your pick starts to go. Get rid of it, get a new pick. They're cheap. Some guys like these. Some of my students,
Free when I go like the guitar store.
sometimes they'll give them out. Some guys like these real big chunky picks. These are made by Clayton in the USA, and they're very big. Well, Clayton makes smaller ones too, but some people like these huge picks. I don't like them at all. But just to show you, that's compared to the Jazz pick, how much bigger it is. And some guys like that. Some players like holding on to this big chunky piece, but I personally don't. But again, you want to try it. Find out what you like, what sounds best to you, what feels best to you. Another interesting pick is this pick made of wood. Now this was sent to us by Dave Meek from Meek Guitar. Thanks, Dave. Shout out to Dave Meek. Much appreciated. Meek Guitar and Mandolin Repair in Wheatland, Oklahoma. He sent us these picks, and they're kind of cool. They're made of this really dense wood that he personally sculpts and polishes each of these picks. I think they're called lignum. I might not be pronouncing that right, but and you could order the thickness, and he tries to make the any size you want and just custom make them for you. And it's very quality piece of workmanship, you could tell. And it has a different feel to it, but you know, you might want to give it a try. He personally manufactures these in his shop in Oklahoma, near Oklahoma City. And this is kind of like this is very dense wood, one of the densest woods around he uses for these. So thanks for sending us these, Dave. We're messing around with them and having fun, and it just shows you, and again, it has a different sound. I can tell the different sound by using this, then using this, then using the Fender one. Here's some picks that have been personally modified by my dog, Samantha. She got a hold of these.
Very valuable. We're going to sell those on eBay.
Yeah, this could be eBay. And it's funny because, like I was saying before, when I pull them out of her mouth, she kind of chews on them for a while, but they kind of take a shape that fits in my fingers actually better. So she's making them better than they were. She got a hold of this one's almost broken, but I don't let her swallow them. So remember, just to review a little bit, the main thing I think with picks, two main things, is find one that you like the sound of and also the feel. Okay? One of my students, we were getting into some speed picking, fast alternate picking up and down, and he was having a real problem with the pick cutting through the strings. And I was noticing he was using a real thick pick, and it was getting hung up on the strings, and his picking technique was pretty good. So I switched him to a medium pick. I was like, just try this, and I think it's going to cut through the strings a lot nicer, and it did, and he was really amazed. So the pick you choose makes a big difference, tone-wise, how it attacks the strings, and also feel-wise. So try out different thicknesses and listen for the sounds, because you can hear the difference, and find what you like, and try the different varieties. They're very cheap. They even make variety packs. Try the ones with the raised letters. They even make some with ridges, with multiple holes in them. There's all different kinds. A Dava pick, D-A-V-A, they make some pretty cool picks with angles in them and indents, and they hold into your hand really well too. That's Dava pick. So give them a try, but just remember, anything you put in your hand between your guitar or between the amp is going to affect the tone. All right, and it's a matter of feel, personal preference, and sound. So try them all, just like guitars. Try them all and find out what you like best, and have fun. And we will see you in the next lesson. Take care and rock on.